The pads were on at Broncos training camp for the very first time, and I'm here with the Hall of Famer Steve Atwater to break it all down. Steve, the energy, the physicality, it went up on this Monday practice as the Broncos got back to work, and you saw that most along the offensive and defensive lines. Early in practice, Steve, the defensive line, they had their way a little bit. They played well, had a tackle for loss by DJ Jones, one by Baron Browning, one by Zach Allen, and this defensive front, Steve, which I know the Broncos spent so much time working to improve after last year, it showed some of its potential. How excited are you to see this group when the regular season gets here?
Well, I'm super excited to see them actually execute in the games, and it's so exciting to see that this early in training camp that they're being dominant up front because, many times – offenses kind of have a little bit of an upper hand because they know where they're going, but it's still early in training camp. So defenses really should, be a little bit better than the offenses are at this time because, as offenses start putting more plays in and it gets a little bit more difficult for the defense, the offense will execute a little bit better and they'll make some plays. But definitely encouraging to see how well our defensive line stepped up, putting pressure on the offense and making plays in the backfield, and we really need that.
Sean Payton was talking about it. Sometimes you see, the defense play well one day, then the offense, they go in the building, they watch the film, and they say, okay, we're going to come out the next day and bounce right back. When you're in the building for training camp, do you feel that? Is that real, that if your side of the ball maybe doesn't have the day they want, that the next day you're fired up to go out to practice and kind of switch things around?
Oh, yeah, especially if you didn't have a great day. You're definitely looking to bounce back from that and make a play. Somebody makes a play to represent the defense, and that's how it is throughout the season too. It'll be ups and downs, and certain players will step up and make plays. Other players who you hope would make plays, sometimes they don't make those plays. But we're hoping that guys step up, and we've had some guys step up early here, and some young guys too that we're going to get to here. And that is very encouraging. And some of the new guys and some of the guys who've been here for a while making big plays on the defensive side. Absolutely.
It was a run-first focus today at practice, Steve, but there were opportunities still for the quarterbacks to try to make some plays. Jarrett Stidham pushed the ball down the field well. Zach Wilson did the same, had a nice throw to Greg Dulcich late in practice, kind of just over the outstretched arm of a defender. And then we saw Bo Nix, Steve, at one point. He took off and ran down the field. And, fans may sometimes think, oh, he's scrambling out, he should stay there and make a throw. But Sean Payton seemed to think after practice, hey, that was the right decision to take off and run. We obviously know he's talked about all three of these quarterbacks can move a little bit. And his speed, Steve, I thought was impressive. He would have gained some yards there. When you're looking at it and you're thinking about it, how do you balance that, do you think, in terms of when to stay in the pocket and when to maybe take off? And do the coaches kind of know what the right decision is when they look back at the film?
Oh, yeah, the coaches know. They're going to review it. And most of the players on the offensive side, they'll know as well that when the quarterback should have taken off versus when, man, there's a guy wide open over here and you should have gotten the ball there. And so for Sean to say that, he knows that, hey, that was the only option for this offense on that particular play was for Bo Nix to run the ball, and that's a good thing. And it's encouraging that he didn't try to force the ball in there. That's what a lot of young quarterbacks do many times, trying to make a play, trying to stand out in training camp is throw it in the tight coverage or throw it in the double coverage and get the ball intercepted, and they go back and look at the film and they say, daggone it, I should have run it. Bo Nix made a great decision to run that ball.
Yeah, I think we talk so much, and the media talks so much about, this guy, this completion, or this guy ran here, or held the ball, or, whatever it may be. We don't know exactly what the progression is, what they're looking for. So it was nice to hear Sean say after practice, hey, that was the right move, and I don't think we should underestimate from any of these quarterbacks the ability to be able to scramble and get outside the pocket and keep things alive with your legs. I think in today's NFL, Steve, you have to be able to have that kind of dual threat element.
Yeah, you do. And many times you'll see coaches, if the quarterback takes off and runs and there's a person that was open or where he should have tried to get the ball, they'll slam the clipboard down. And you could tell immediately that was the wrong decision. So, again, kudos to Bo for being composed and going through his progression and knowing the right thing to do was to run the ball.
Speaks to the maturity there. Another rookie, Steve, that we haven't talked much about yet, Chris Abrams-Drain, a rookie out of Missouri, a cornerback. he stood out to me today, had a nice big play, almost had an interception late in practice, was covering Cortland Sutton, made a great play on the ball. Steve, anytime you can make a play against a guy who had 10 touchdowns last year and knock the ball away, almost get an interception, that's a good sign. I asked Sean Payton about him after practice, and he said he's one of those guys that we've seen take a big jump from the offseason program to training camp. Sounds like he's a lot more comfortable out there and kind of knows what he's supposed to do, playing a little bit faster. He obviously was an intriguing player coming out of the draft, but what do you like about KAD, as maybe he'll be known here going forward?
Yeah, man, that just says so much about his maturity, because many rookies come in and then you're going up against Cortland Sutton, one of the greatest receivers that we've had over the last several years. And he's poised and he's confident and he goes up and makes a great play. I know that does a lot for his confidence. And I know the coaches are like, "Whoa, we got to take a second look at this guy here. He may be a guy that can contribute this year. We may not have to wait and put him behind someone else. He may be able to contribute this year in some form or fashion."
Yeah, and I think it is impressive just how many of these rookies so far have shown the ability to. We'll see what happens when we get to the regular season, but have so far seemed like they've made an impact, have picked things up quickly, whether you're talking about Chris Abrams-Drain, Troy Franklin, Devon Vele, Audric Estime, Jonah Ellis. I mean, you can go on and on there. Obviously, Bo is in the midst of a quarterback competition. So things look pretty good so far for these rookies. Steve, we'll see how they continue to develop, and we're in it now, Steve. This is a long stretch of camp. There'll be a practice every day through Saturday, and we will be back on Tuesday to give you the latest from Broncos training camp. For Hall of Famer Steve Atwater, I'm Aric DiLalla.